Hi everyone, my name is Thomas Kim. Today is October 6, 2020. This is my 76th episode about vector calculus and classical electromagnetism. In this episode, we will learn how to load, compile, link, OpenGL, GLSL shader source code programmatically. To do this, we need to learn how to compile shader, then how to link shader, how to clean up shader source code, how to retrieve compile error, how to retrieve link error. To compile shader, we need GLCreateShader, GLShaderSource, GLCompileShader. To link shader, we need GLCreateProgram, GLattachShader, GLlinkProgram. To clean up shader source code, we need GLdeleteShader. To retrieve compile time error, we need GLgetShaderIV and GLgetShaderInfoLog. To retrieve link program error, we need GLgetProgramIV, GLgetProgramInfoLog. It must be quite challenging for most people. I will try to guide you step by step. Disclaimer: I am an absolute OpenGL beginner by myself too. My current session continues from my previous episode 75. Please double-click this link. I highly recommend you to watch episode 75, OpenGL Shader Syntax Highlighter. Show more. In the download source code section, please double-click it. Show in folder, unzip it, right-click, rename 76, compile, link, shader source. Copy the folder, paste it in your working directory. Now start Visual Studio Code. Go to File, open Project Solution. From folder 76, Triangle, select Triangle Solution, open. Now press Ctrl F5. You should be able to build successfully. Now close it. In our previous episode, triangle vertex, triangles fragment, these are shader program. Also, in the OpenGL guide app.cpp, in the init function, we used load shaders. We will implement this function by compiling triangle vertex, triangle fragment by ourselves. Right-click the header files, add new item, Visual C++, header file, shader utility.h. Click Add. Right-click source files, add new item, CPP files, shader utility.cpp. Click Add. In the shader utility, include program apps. In the shader utility, include shader utility. Now save all. I will close all. Then reopen shader HPP, shader program guide app. In the program guide app, delete this shader utility. Also, right-click the project, properties, linker, system, console, apply, click OK. Control End. Right before here, I will enable it. Now press Ctrl F5. You should build successfully like this. I will fold Solution Explorer and arrange like this. This is header file. This is source file. Include talk play fun, output HPP, cut, paste it here using shader source files t std vector std string. We defined a type alias here GLuint create shader program. Copy this, paste, constant reference shader files. I will make it bigger. Return. Now in program guide app.cpp, here shader source files, shader files, triangles, vertex, triangles, frag. I will make it uppercase, frag uppercase, intentionally. Now, auto, we call this function program shader files. Copy this name, copy, paste it here, like this. Then Ctrl F5. It should build. Now make it bigger. For auto source file shader files. We got shader files from function parameter. Try, catch, std, exception, e, static, talk play fun, stream, stream, static, auto, and there, talk play fun, and there. We need keyword static to prevent conflict. Now we need include f stream. This is file stream. We define using source code, memory, t, std, unique ptr, gl, character, array. For more information about unique ptr, this is array. Please refer to this video. Graph in C++ in this series of videos, std unique ptr, std unique ptr, std unique ptr, std unique ptr. I created a number of videos about std unique ptr and shared ptr. I will copy the link, paste it here for your reference. Now static, we are returning unique ptr, load, shader, source code, std, string, source, file, name. I will make it constant reference. Now we are calling this function auto source code. Load shader source code. We pass file name here, stream e what. Here stream, we will return source code. Please note that this is unique ptr. Get. Here std input file stream, input file source file name. We are passing the source code file name here. If input file is open, if failed, return. So we have to double check if source code is not null, because it can fail. Now move file position to the end. Input file seek. We have to pass offset 0. std iOS end. Auto file size input file tell G retrieve the file size. Now we allocate memory, source code, memory T, source code. This is memory. Watch this part very carefully. New GL character. This is array. File size. It should be size T, std size T. We have to plus 1. Plus 1 is for terminating null character. Now we have to initialize. In this statement is for initialize the memory to 0. I will make carriage return like this. Don't forget semicolon. Now input file 6G std iOS begin. Move file position to the beginning. Now input file read. We have to provide character buffer. Source code get. It returns character pointer. Then file size. Read in the whole file contents. Then we return source code. We don't need to append terminating null character because we initialized the array with null character using this statement. Now here everything seems to be done. Now press Ctrl F5. Sorry, we should return. Return. This is dummy for the time being. Press Ctrl F5. Now close it. I made a mistake here. Please note that we are in loop. If failed, then continue. I will fix like this. it failed to read the file. Then process the next file. Press Ctrl F5. Now we loaded two files, triangle vertex, triangle's fragment. This is triangle vertex. This is triangle's fragments. We read the contents of shaderSource files. Now close it. Step 1. Read in the source file from shaders. I will disable it. Step 2. Create shader. In this file, I will expand. We will call GLCreateShader. For your reference, I will copy this text and paste it here. If you Ctrl click, you can open GLCreateShader. We need to tell shaderType. There are GLCompileShader, GLVERTEX SHADER, GLtessellation control shader, GLtessellation evaluation shader, GLgeometry shader, GLFragment shader. We have to provide shaderType. So GLenum shaderType std string shader file name. It should be static. I say get shaderType. Return. This is dummy. Copy, paste the source file, paste it here, or shaderType. GLCreateShader returns shader, or shader GLCreateShader. We have to provide shaderType. Copy, paste. To implement getShaderType, scroll up. We create a map using shaderType map t std map std string GLenum. We define the map type static shaderType map shader types. We have to provide string and enumeration. For example, but GL VERTEX SHADER. For such purpose, I created here copy, paste it here. I will fix like this, comma, comma, I will arrange. Now from this shader file name, auto file extension get lowercase extension. We pass this shader file name here, static std string get lowercase extension std string file name. Now here auto position file name find last of, we provide character offset is default value. Auto extension if 4 is not equal file name and false or equal and false return file name does not have extension, then return empty string, else file name substring, this is offset 4. Now we have to make extension to lowercase. For auto, it should be L value reference C extension C std to lower C. It should be colon. Now return extension. It can be constant reference. If does not have extension, returns empty string. Scroll down. Auto iterator shader types find. We provide key file extension. If ITR not equal shader types and return ITR second, else return GL none. GLrun is 0. Now scroll down. At this point, we got shader type. If shader type equals GLnone, continue. I will disable it for the time being. Press Ctrl F5. Our program builds successfully. This episode became too long. In my next episode, we will pick up where we left off. Please keep watching my next video.